Has a Volkswagen service center ever quoted you $400 for a flush you didn't even need? Or said your battery failed when it was just low on charge? You're not crazy, you're being targeted. 1 out of every 2 car owners has been scammed at the dealership. And if you drive a Volkswagen, you've probably felt it. We've worked on thousands of Volkswagens, Golfs, Tigans, Passats, GTIs, even Touaregs, and the stories never change. Unnecessary work, inflated parts, scare tactics, phantom repairs. And we're tired of seeing good drivers pay for bad advice. In this video, we're breaking down the 7 biggest VW service center scams. Some are shady, others are downright dangerous. We'll show you exactly how they work, how to spot them, and how to shut them down before they touch your keys. Stick with us to the end because number 6, it's a safety risk hiding in plain sight. And number 7, a $1,000 lie you've probably heard before. If you care about keeping your VW honest, subscribe now. This is Das Auto Diaries, and today we're fighting back. Free updates, paid twice. You bring your Volkswagen in for something simple, and suddenly there is a mysterious $180 charge on your invoice labeled software calibration or ECU refresh. It sounds technical, it sounds necessary, but here is the truth. Many Volkswagen software updates are completely free under warranty or covered by technical service bulletins. Modern VWs from the MQB era onward receive ECU updates, DSG recalibrations, ABS module patches, even infotainment fixes that VW already authorizes at no cost. Yet shady service centers quietly add them to your bill because the process looks complicated to customers. The technician plugs in a laptop, waits for a progress bar, hands you your keys, and you walk out thinking they performed expert labor. We have seen GTI owners charge for ABS module updates that were literally listed as free TSB actions tied to their VIN. One owner only learned the truth after checking VW's online service portal and discovering the update was already included. That is why you always ask the advisor if the update is warranty covered or part of a TSB before agreeing to anything. If they hesitate, you know what is happening. Dealers count on you not knowing what VW already owes you. Never pay for an update before checking your VIN on VW's service portal or calling customer support. If the price looks like you are funding a download, you probably are. Modern VWs run on software, but your wallet should not be paying for what Volkswagen already provides for free. Stay with us because the next scam looks harmless until your new battery dies a year later. Battery replacement ripoffs. You walk into the dealership needing a new battery, and they quote you for a genuine Volkswagen part, premium quality, warranty-backed, reliable. But what actually goes under the hood? Often not what you paid for. We've seen countless cases where owners were billed for a VW-branded battery, but ended up with a generic aftermarket unit. No logo, no warranty, no real quality. It looks new, it fits the tray, and unless you know what to check, it passes. But a year later, the car struggles to crank on cold mornings, and voltage drops start throwing random electrical faults. The problem isn't your alternator or your starter, it's that cheap battery they quietly swapped in while charging you full OEM price. Every real Volkswagen battery comes with a label showing the VW part number, manufacturing date, and a true power or VARTA code. If the label looks generic, if there's no manufacturer trace, or if the part number doesn't match VW's official catalog, you're not getting what you paid for. Always ask to see the battery box before installation, and if they already installed it, ask to see the old one they removed. That's your right as the customer. A good shop will show you the part, the packaging, and explain the swap without hesitation. If they dodge, delay, or deflect, something's off. A cheap battery won't just leave you stranded, it can trigger sensor errors, ECU instability, and even damage charging circuits over time. When you're paying VW prices, make sure you're actually getting Volkswagen parts. Fabricated faults during inspection or MOT. You bring your Volkswagen in for something routine, maybe a brake check or a basic MOT, and minutes later, the service advisor returns with a serious face and a long list of urgent repairs. Suddenly, your perfectly fine car fails inspection, and they claim you need hundreds or even thousands of dollars of work to pass. We've seen this scam unfold too many times. Exaggerated brake wear, imaginary oil leaks, suspension components flagged as unsafe with no real evidence. And it's not just shady garages. Even authorized dealers have been caught stacking fake faults to meet sales targets. They bank on one thing, your panic. They'll mention safety, legal compliance, and pressure you to authorize repairs on the spot. We had a client with a 2017 Passat told she needed a full brake overhaul, calipers, rotors, pads, when all she had was a slightly worn pad on one side. If you push back, they start layering the jargon: premature wear, compliance issue, urgent component degradation. Don't fall for it. Always ask to see the part they're replacing on the car and get the exact measurement or fault code in writing. A reputable shop will explain everything clearly and never use pressure tactics. If it feels like a scare job, it probably is. Don't sign anything until you've had a second opinion, especially from an independent VW specialist. And remember, passing your MOT shouldn't mean failing your bank account. Stick around because the next scam charges you for clean air. Fake cabin filter replacements. You drop your Volkswagen off for an oil change, and on pickup, there's a surprise charge: $75 for a cabin air filter replacement. The advisor might even show you a dusty filter, sometimes not even yours, to make it seem urgent. But here's the problem. In many cases, that filter was never replaced at all, or worse, swapped for a $10 no-name knockoff that barely fits. We've seen it too many times. Customers billed for premium service, only to discover their original dirty filter still tucked behind the glove box months later. On most Volkswagens, replacing the cabin filter takes less than 5 minutes. No tools, no special training. A genuine V or W filter costs around $20 to $30 at most. We had one Tiguan owner charged $85 for a filter change that was never done. The old one was still date stamped from 2 years earlier. The trick works because most drivers never look, but you should. Check your owner's manual. Many VW models only need a cabin filter every 20,000 to 30,000 miles, not at every oil change. If the advisor says it's clogged or critical, ask to see the exact filter from your car. A trustworthy shop will show you the part and explain the interval. If they hesitate, it's a red flag. Don't let them charge you luxury rates for a job that takes less time than ordering coffee. Counterfeit parts sold as genuine VW. This one isn't just a ripoff, it's a safety risk. You pay for genuine Volkswagen components, and what you actually get are cheap, low-quality fakes dressed up to look authentic. We've seen fake brake pads that crumble under heat, oil filters that clog in weeks, and even counterfeit airbags that fail to deploy. These parts come boxed in convincing packaging, complete with forged VW logos and even barcodes that scan. But inside, it's a disaster waiting to happen. A client brought in a Jetta after a shop upgraded the brakes. Within 2 months, the pads glazed over and the rotors warped. Turns out the entire kit was a no-name copy, bought in bulk and sold at OEM prices. Counterfeit parts might save the shop money, but they put your life and your car's health at risk. Real VW parts are traceable, sealed, and match exact part numbers in Volkswagen's official database. Always ask where the part came from. Request the box, the label, and proof of sourcing. If they dodge the question or don't have the box anymore, that's your red flag. A genuine part protects your car's performance, resale value, and most importantly, your safety. Never assume OEM style means OEM approved. That's how these scams survive. If the price feels too good, it probably comes with a hidden cost. Stay with us. Up next is the scam that hides behind confusing jargon, designed to make you say yes before you understand what you're paying for. Blinding you with tech talk. You walk in for something small, maybe a check engine light or a scheduled oil change, and within minutes, the service advisor starts throwing out a wall of terminology. Your vehicle is showing intermittent camshaft phase deviation. We detected abnormal adaptive throttle response. The electronic module may need recalibration due to voltage irregularities. Sounds urgent, expensive, and way beyond most drivers' understanding. And that's exactly the point. The tactic here is confusion. When you can't follow what's being said, you're more likely to nod, trust the authority, and sign off on repairs you don't really need. We've had VW owners bring in cars after being quoted over $1,000 for what was described as advanced diagnostic and drivability correction. In reality, the MAF sensor just needed cleaning. Or a Touareg owner told he needed a full CAN bus realignment because of a flickering dash light, the actual issue, a loose ground wire under the battery tray. These aren't one-off mistakes. They're deliberate strategies used to sell unnecessary work by making it sound technical and critical. You don't need to be a master tech to defend yourself. Just ask clear questions. What part is failing? What code triggered the repair? What happens if I wait? How long does the fix actually take? If they start fumbling or get irritated by your curiosity, that's a red flag. A good service advisor will always explain a repair in plain language and welcome your questions. The truth is, most real faults can be described simply. It's only when they're inflated that the language gets convoluted. When in doubt, step back, get a second opinion, and don't let fake complexity drain your wallet. Unnecessary fluid flushes and lifetime lies. This is hands down the most profitable and dangerous scam in VW service centers. You come in for a simple oil change, and suddenly your advisor recommends a stack of flushes, transmission, brake fluid, coolant, power steering, maybe even a differential flush. All of them urgent, all of them costly. But here's the truth. Many of these flushes are either completely unnecessary or actively harmful, especially in sealed systems. Volkswagen has moved toward lifetime or long-interval fluids for many components, but dishonest shops exploit that vagueness to upsell. We've seen it too often. A Golf GTI owner was charged $1,200 for a coolant and transmission flush at 30,000 miles. The coolant looked perfect, and the DSG hadn't even reached its first real service interval. The result? The transmission started slipping weeks later. Why? The flush stirred up debris in the valve body that wasn't meant to be disturbed yet. Same goes for brake fluid. Yes, it's hygroscopic and should be flushed every 3 years, but shops will try to sell it at every oil change. We've seen Tiguans with power steering flush charges, even though that model uses electric steering and has no fluid to flush. This kind of phantom service is hard to detect unless you know your car's actual needs. Always refer to your owner's manual, not the service center's recommended maintenance chart. If a shop recommends 5 flushes in one visit, challenge them to show you exactly why. Ask for fluid test strips, boiling point data, or at least visual evidence. Most won't have any, because this isn't about protecting your VW, it's about inflating the bill. And if done improperly, these flushes can cause seals to swell, valves to stick, and sensors to fail. Maintenance should extend your car's life, not shorten it under the guise of care. Know what's real and don't fall for fluid fear tactics. So, we're at the end. If you've made it this far, you're not just another driver. You're someone who wants to outsmart the system, protect your car, and call out the industry BS when you see it. These scams thrive on confusion, on fear, and on the assumption that you won't ask questions. But now, you know exactly what to watch for and how to push back. From fake flushes to phantom filters, from tech talk tricks to counterfeit parts, you've just armed yourself with real knowledge. And that's how you keep your VW running strong without throwing money away. This isn't about paranoia, it's about power. Yours. The more you know, the harder it is to scam you. And if you've spotted one of these scams yourself, drop your story in the comments. Let's expose it together. Want to go deeper into VW truth? Watch this next. Volkswagen's worst versus best engines. My 20 years of experience. It breaks down the engines that make VWs great and the ones that never deserve to leave the factory. You'll learn what's under your hood, what to trust, and what to avoid like the plague. This is Das Auto Diaries. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you in the next one.